in the back of my mind, I always knew what it was I wanted to do. So by my second year, I was back on track in terms of making music and reaching out to because I was in the city, so I was reaching out to whoever I could in the city, like A&Rs or whoever I felt like I could call. Nobody was listening or whatever, but I was still trying. Mark Pitts introduced me to Jay. Mark Pitts was like Biggie's manager. He's over at Job now. But he introduced me to Jay, and Jay heard a song I had called Lightspeed, which I actually did while I was still here. It was like my last semester of my senior year or whatever. And that's when I did that song. And then he heard it, and it got him interested. Came through and, took the meeting, and then the rest was history.
In the above quote, Jermaine Lamarr Cole, a.k.a. J. Cole, gives us an insight into his years at the university and the years following. Unlike many rappers, Cole did pursue a university education, but during that time, he continued working towards his goal to be a rapper. His university education allowed him to stay in the city and work towards his own goals and ambitions. Step 1. Connect, network, spread the word. The main takeaway from the above quote is the value of networking. Things have changed considerably over the past decade, and artists today get spotted on the internet and connect with others online. But the principle is essentially still the same today. If you want to be a rapper with a significant reach, if you want to be able to work with the best in the industry, you will have to connect and network with industry professionals. In the case of J. Cole, as we can see, his link with an A&R like Mark Pitts put him in touch with the big names in the industry. This remains true to this day. If you manage to link up with a person from within the industry and they like your work, they will make sure to put your work in front of the right people. Though today's artists can rack up a significant amount of views and become relatively popular as the SoundCloud rappers did, if you want to take the route of working with the major label, you need to network. There is simply no getting around this. The choice between staying independent or working with a major record label is a decision that you're gonna have to make in your career at one point or another. There's no right response or answer to this problem. If you choose to go the independent route, you may have a lot more creative freedom and more control over the money you make, but at the same time, you're gonna have to do a lot of logistical and operational stuff on your own. If you choose to go with the major record label, they will take a huge cut of profits, take away your rights, but in return, provide you with their ecosystem of artists, managers, events, marketing, etc. No matter which path you choose, you will always need to work on your writing and rapping skills. If you are looking for a guide to growing as a rapper, you can refer to our free video course, The Top 20 Songwriting Secrets of Professional Rappers, by clicking here. Things have changed a lot since Cole's early years, and there is simply no one right answer to this problem. The takeaway from the above quote rather is the value of networking and spreading the word about one's work. This still holds as much value and truth today as it did a decade or two ago. Connecting with the right people will in turn connect you with the right people. Cole got a chance to put his work in front of Jay-Z because he had a connection with Mark Pitts. If you want to be seen or heard by the big shots like Jay-Z, it is really difficult to get noticed by them because thousands of people keep trying to put their work in front of them. Having that link among the industry insiders gives you an extra edge over the other upcoming artists who want to make a mark in the scene. Connecting is one thing, but having the patience and ambition to stick through the plan is another, as we see in this next quote. Step number 2, patience, ambition, and dedication.
The past 10 years, I really haven't thought about no other careers. I always knew I was gonna make it, but it was just about when. So when I graduated and all my friends went and got all my friends from St. John's went and got their 9-to-5 jobs, and they was making $30,000 a year, $40,000 a year, and I was broke, and I was working at a job making $10 an hour, but I'm trying to pay rent, so I'm grown now. Once you graduate, you're not just a broke college student, you're just really just broke as hell. So I was really broke as hell. So that's when I was like, man, looking at my watch, yo.
Cole sheds light on his financial situation in early life in the above quote. Even after graduating from the university, he was working a job which paid $10 an hour. Now that is some level of dedication to not get sucked into a 9-to-5 rut. It isn't just a question of dedication, but also sheer patience and ambition to make it as a rapper and see through one's plans despite all odds. Patience is a virtue that we have slowly forgotten in the current age of social media. Everyone wants to be famous. Everyone wants their 15 minutes of fame. They all want it right now. They all want to be viral and trending across all social media platforms. But the life of an artist is a case of patience. Cole tells us in the above quote that even after he graduated from the university job, he was doing a $10 an hour job. He could have gotten a 9-to-5, secure job like his classmates and friends, but he chose to stick it through. Cole wasn't just patient, he was also dedicated to his ambition to be a rapper, and he knew that the way wasn't going to be through a 9-to-5. To have this level of dedication to one's ambition is not an easy affair, but it's the only way. If he had joined a usual 9-to-5 job, he wouldn't have had the freedom to hone his craft and skills and work his way towards a rap career. This downtime also must have helped Cole grow as a person and a writer. We have seen so many artists who blow up quick on social media and then just disappear into the dustbin of history. Give your art the time to grow. Give yourself the time to grow. There is no easy shortcut around this. The risk of choosing an artistic career is something that you should evaluate early on. Do you got the patience and dedication to stick it through thick and thin? Are you willing to hustle and grind till you make it? Or are you looking for a way to make a quick buck and rap is merely a way for you to get your 15 minutes of fame? The life of an artist is not easy. Even after you get noticed by a major record label or some great artist, you still have to put the work in to write, record, and produce a decent body of work to put out as an album at the end of the day. Just like you should evaluate whether you want to go the independent route or the major label route, you must also evaluate how much you are willing to risk for your dream and ambition of being a rapper. You must evaluate how are you willing to struggle. Are you willing to risk the comfort and security of a normal 9-to-5 life with the uncertainty of working odd gigs, the uncertainty of producing artistic content, and working in the cutthroat industry of show business? As we will see in the next quote, Cole knew that the early years of a rapper's life are not a cakewalk. To make it, one has to work through and climb in the industry. Step number 3, understand the industry and what it demands from you.
Mark Pitts one time told me you gotta play the game to change the game, basically. Meaning, like, at first, you know, when it comes to dealing with the label or dealing with, you know, the politics of the industry, like, you gotta kind of give to take. You know, you can't just be the stubborn guy, like, I'm gonna do it this way, like, I ain't doing no interviews. I want my interviews like this, or I ain't doing, you know, you gotta kind of give until you establish yourself, and then you can have full 100% control. Not creatively, I'm just talking in terms of, you know, in terms of how you move.
The above quote shows Cole's realistic outlook vis-a-vis the music industry or the show business at large. It also shows you how having the right mentor to guide you through the industry can help you immensely. The quote also shows us that one must not be stubborn if one wants to make it in the entertainment business. Being an idealist is fine. It is also essential to an extent to be a great artist. But as we can see from the above quote, it is also important to understand the nature of the industry and the business you are trying to be a part of. Cole mentions how in the early years, one should not be stubborn. One needs to put oneself out there and do what the industry expects and demands from you. Do the interviews, do the gigs, do the late night talk shows, do the podcasts and whatnot. Do what the label's asking from you. The industry works a certain way and plays the game as expected in the early years. Once you've put out a decent body of work, once you've shown that you have it in you to put out great work that is expected of you, then you can start dictating the terms. But in the beginning, don't be stubborn about not giving an interview or doing some marketing or promotion event. Cole does draw a line when it comes to creative control. He says that nobody demands you give up your creative control in the early on. Rather, what he is pointing toward is that other than the creative parts, you will not have 100% control over all aspects of the music business. There are some existing norms that you're expected to meet. You're expected to work your way up. We again come back to the virtue of patience here, just like in the last quote. Be patient and play the long game. Play by the rules of the entertainment industry in the early years. After a few years, once you have proven your mettle, you can start dictating the terms. But it is key if you go the major label route to play the game by the rules in the early years. So what do you guys think? In today's world, is it worth going through the major label route, or is simply building up a hype online enough to make a mark? Let me know in the comments what you think. Peace.